What will happen if a country expands its international trade? China has worked hard to increase its trade, and the Belt and Road Initiative has helped the nation advance. It has signed a number of agreements and spent many billions of dollars in an effort to gain global dominance. If you are new to the channel and enjoy learning about modernity in general, in particular China's development and increasing power, you will find our documentaries intriguing. In this video, we'll discuss how China's trade network assisted in its rise to global hegemony. Let's move forward. When a nation grows inside its borders, the residents benefit. But when a country decides to share its growth outside of its borders, it becomes the dominant force in the world. The only thing that can grant a country dominance over the world is trade. And before concentrating on anything to progress, China rapidly grasped this. It put a lot of effort into increasing its global trade. In doing so, China not only started to communicate with other countries, but also took steps toward gaining world dominance. The first stage in developing a global commerce network was independence. Everything must be manufactured in China, and to our shock, they were successful. Everything required for space stations, electronics, and electric automobiles may be produced entirely within Chinese borders. The best engineers in the world, who might swiftly develop breakthrough technology, are found in China. These engineers learn about new technologies daily and implement them. Technology creation skills are important, but so are the raw materials required for it. China also does not want to rely on a supply chain that is less reliable. After reaching self-sufficiency, China reached specific deals with each country and started importing raw materials. The next step was to start doing business internationally and take over. As a result, China started the Belt and Road Initiative. The globe was to be opened with this program. Asia and the rest of the world were to be connected via China. It tried to work with as many countries as it could. China's technology and expertise should be shared with the rest of the world, not simply for China's own financial advantage. Perhaps most importantly the Belt and Road Initiative will open up numerous business opportunities for China and the rest of the world. But in order to gain from its Belt and Road Initiative, everything has a cost. China must overcome a number of challenges. Let's look at the difficulties China had following the launch of its Belt and Road Initiative. The Belt and Road Initiative will leave China's mark on the whole world through infrastructure. It is anticipated that infrastructure development will continue to accelerate. As nations fight to progress, they all want to update their infrastructure. And one method can achieve this is through the Belt and Road Initiative. China is thought to be less advanced than other countries. China will thus be the only country accorded top consideration. If any nation requires aid from the rest of the globe to build its railways or roads, 149 countries have taken part in various projects that China has launched. It has reportedly committed $1 trillion to infrastructure projects, according to experts. In 15 years, the world will already be investing $90 trillion in infrastructure, with China being recognized as the best at it. There is a strong possibility that many countries will embrace China's infrastructure. But the problem is this: China must, at all costs, perform all the difficult jobs that no one else can. China is unable to reject a proposal. It doesn't matter how tough or intricate a project is. If China rejects it, it won't be able to gain the faith of all other countries. China wants to be the best option for infrastructure, but it is impossible to say with certainty with which country it will choose to work or which project it will take on. It must finish all initiatives directed against China. Because of this, China has accomplished a lot of projects that were practically impossible for anybody else to execute. The lives of Chinese engineers and workers were sacrificed in order to build some of the most impressive infrastructure in the world. Despite the fact that China makes these impractical projects possible, it nevertheless receives criticism. Even more of a problem is China's lending of money to countries unable to repay the debt. In recent years, China has made a lot of high-risk loans available. Although China wishes to help these countries, there are times when it needs to give up certain benefits. In addition, a few countries have grown uneasy as a result of China's dominance on the international stage. The only area that is against China obtaining more global sway is the West. In the past, the West, and especially the US, has been a significant and powerful area. They have also long enjoyed the distinction of having the world's strongest economy. China's economy in 2010 outperformed that of the United States and Europe. Thus, it is clear that the West sees China as a competitor. China is now ruling the world, as the United States had hoped. This situation has heated up politics. China is obviously interested in some business, despite the fact that it has no desire to receive any accolades. However, it continues to generate disquiet in other countries. Healthy competition is also quite equitable in this regard. However, when matters become severe, everyone loses. Conflicts have the potential to hurt any firm. In the confrontation that followed the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the West is supporting Ukraine. This support has brought about a number of challenges for the West. The United States is pleased to have ended trade or commerce with the country. Very much like the oil crisis, China, however, opposes that. China wants to develop friendly relations with everyone. Following the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, China entered into a number of deals with Russia, giving the impression that it is backing Russia to the rest of the world. Even though they just want this particular firm, China still has to face criticism. China is unable to fully implement the Belt and Road Initiative as a result. However, China is certain that it can achieve its goals before 2049. Let's look at how China will strengthen its position before the Belt and Road Initiative is finished by 2027. According to the findings of the experts, it is anticipated that the total investment in the Belt and Road Initiative would be around $1.3 trillion. China plans to sign 2,600 projects before the year 2027. Greater financial resources are going to be invested in Africa, the Persian Gulf, and the Middle East. The maintenance of China's commercial connections with various African nations is currently a very high priority for China. In 2017, it was responsible for bringing in more than 17.5% of all goods that were imported to the African continent. On the African continent, there were around 10,000 Chinese-owned firms that were operational between the years 2021 and 2018. In addition to the direct investments of $41 billion, China has provided Africa with loans totaling $126 billion to be issued by Chinese banks. Furthermore, China has spent a total of $23 billion in several infrastructure projects across Africa. Even though Africa is not nearly as developed as China is aiming to make it between the years 2027 and 2020, Africa is benefiting from China's assistance and will continue to do so. In light of this, and when Africa has made a complete recovery from its previous state, the future will see the signing of a great number of agreements between China and Africa. It is anticipated that China would put $36 billion towards the construction of energy connection projects by the year 2035. In addition to that, it plans to invest an additional $41 billion in various mining and petroleum projects located in Central Asia. In addition, the fact that China is investing in all 7 continents demonstrates how much of a huge effect it will have on the world by the time it celebrates its centenary. Do you believe that in a few years China will dominate a significant portion of the infrastructure found all over the world? Will there ever be a day when China and the countries of the West enjoy better ties with one another? Would the United States and China be planning any joint construction projects in the near future? Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.